Welcome back to the first round back nine men's feature card at the 2019 Waco Annual Charity Open, presented by Dynamic Discs. This is the second stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. You've got Big Julie commentary, Jeremy Koling, joined by Paul Ulibarri.
Yes, you are. And it looks like we have a grip of birdies from these competitors on the front nine, along with a couple bogeys from Sias, but he finished out with 3 in a row, so he's trending upward for sure.
And Paul Ulibarri with the freaking blazing front nine at 9 under, myself at 8 under, Ricky Wysocki and Perkins, Eagle McMahon, Grady Shue all at 7 under. There are some great scores in this windy round one. Back nine, we've got a few more holes in the woods, and then we're going to finish in the incredibly gusty final holes here at the Beast Course in Waco, Texas. Hole 10 is a par 4, 591 feet. One of the prettiest holes in Texas, I'd say. It's a lovely hole. It's a very challenging par 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of gives you the feeling that you're kind of out of the woods as well, because of how tight all the other holes have been so far, and then you come to this one and it actually has a bigger fairway.
It has it almost feels like it's that perfect disc golf width.
Yeah.
You got that green grass fairway, and it's not so much of a low ceiling, so you can actually let the disc rip.
But don't let its beauty confuse you, because one small slip up in this thing can have you staring at bogey in no time.
Yeah.
Not Clemons, though. That was perfect.
Yeah, that's a great little forced turnover shot. Leave him on the left side of the fairway. I do feel like the right side of the fairway, almost looking like you've missed the fairway off to the right, is the best place to attack the green. But conversely, the left side where Eagle has landed is the worst place. It is so thick and very, very challenging to approach the green from anywhere over there.
And I'm going to say one more time.
Oh, gosh. This is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that was really big. But Eagle's drawing dead. He's not getting birdie from there.
Well, you said that before in Chris Clemons in hole 7. Let's see if you're correct.
Seppo.
Let's see if you're 50%. Wow.
Nice. Wow.
That little tickle did not stop him from throwing basically a perfect approach.
Are you kidding me?
And he's got the edge. He's got opportunity, folks, and he's going with the flick roller. Too much cut. Paul, you might have been saved.
No way. He's the best putter in the world.
That's a long putt. He's got about 55, 60 feet. Clemons having to go with a little bit of a turnover. That's moving in pretty hot. Oh, my gosh. Chris has just slammed in an eagle.
What?
This
Look
thing was moving.
He called it in the flight.
Oh, my gosh. What an incredible way to start the back nine. Chris has a fairway ace on the demanding, beautiful, treacherous hole 10 par 4.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Seppo with the body English just gliding that putter in.
Into the little puddle dip there on the green. Leaves him no more than 18 feet left. That's always sweet. That's like one of those 1 or 2 a season type throw-ins.
60 foot.
That's what we said. Let's see if... Are you right? Oh my gosh, you're 0 for 2, dude. What a putt. That thing didn't wobble one single time.
I usually get excited about
That's one of the... That's an incredible... That's ridiculous.
Ever, but...
you want to be excited about it, but you can't.
Yeah,
you're
if you
wrong,
saw my face
again.
right now.
And this card is looking like... I think we're staring down a 5 down.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
Incredible.
Cool putt, Eagle.
Can we get a second FollowFlight and a SloMez on that putt? That thing was insane. Wow.
With my face, like...
We need to get,
True buys.
Unfortunately, we don't have the GoPro watching your face just being dejected as it just slams into 60-foot Annie. Awesome job there from our lead card. Hole 10, par 3, 279 feet. You've seen it several times already. You're going to see it a couple more times. A very technical, under 300-foot hole here at the Beast Course. The really tough part, after you've executed a really nice drive, is maintaining the right speed and angle on this hillside.
Yeah, this hole 11 looks like he pulls it just a bit, but a nice kick out to the fairway.
That should be a layup there, though. That's just a little bit out of range. You don't want to hit metal on your putt unless it's the chains, because you're most likely going to roll away on this hole.
Yeah, and if you actually hit early, the approach is really difficult because you do have kind of these little trees guarding you, and then if you don't land on the perfect angle on the hill, it's a steep hill. It'll roll away for sure.
Yeah, and there's roots on that hillside as well, so it's not... Look at this little technicality we're seeing from Eagle. This little, like, no-step flick that he's doing.
You know what, though?
What's that?
He's drawing dead from in there.
Don't do it. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
He's just getting,
Seppo.
like in poker, he has like a 2-outer. Just hit, they both hit it on me. It was all my money.
You got to stop with these poker disc golf illusions, man. It's not working for you.
A2. He's just loving that disc.
That must be the most understable A2 in the entire world. And Sias, wow, what an aggressive run from back there.
Yeah, seriously.
And look at that. That's smart play after that. I'm sure his heart is still pumping after that throw-in.
All right, Eagle.
He's calling drawing dead. Time for a throw-in.
He's got stuff in his ears.
I was so expecting that to go in. A good display of touch there. Eagle is going to have a very short putt for his birdie. And Seppo, really nice turnover backhand. That's a tough birdie to get with the backhand.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, those shots are, like we've said, 10 times before, whenever we watch Seppo, is his game. That's his game. Is touch into tough sloped greens and narrow fairways.
When you think about the hole only being 279 feet, you're watching us play like Vegas Memorial, 450-foot holes, and the average is like 2.6 because everyone's just birdieing it. This one averages 2.9. It's a difficult hole. And
right.
I believe this hole was the first mistake you really had.
It was a big mistake as well.
Yeah, a 4-putt, and you took a 5. So it was the first time that you really had shown any sort of mistakes. So important after that 9 down front 9 to see how you bounce back after that. Anyways, we're not doing commentary for you. We're doing it for these guys. Hole 12 is a par 5, 609 feet. Again, not much longer than the other par 5, but very incredibly technical, as this whole course is, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, the tee shot really forces you to throw a left to right backhand. But if you're going to choose that, it has to have so much turn and touch landing in. Otherwise, it just filters to that left side. You're going to see predominantly sidearm from a righty and obviously backhand from like Chris right here. And this looks like it's on a good angle, but it's also pushes a little too far to the left.
The hard thing about this is we had that right to left headwind that was immediately pushing down any sort of turnover lines. Like you see Sias there with a nice line, but that wind is smashing it down. And it's also pushing to the back edge of the fairway, which makes it really challenging to keep it tight enough. And Eagle has thrown it tight enough, but has too much speed and it hits that backside. A very awkward angle off the tee that players are forced to throw.
But just like the other one, if you do land in the fairway, it really doesn't matter the distance that you are. You still have a chance for Eagle, and it's almost, I don't want to say it's guaranteed birdie because there is like one guardian tree up there that if you hit and go left or right, it can pinch you into maybe having to save par to bogey. But if you have a great tee shot, this is such a scoreable hole.
Agreed. And Seppo with a little bit of aggressive forehand anhyzer, too tight, but he gets a kick out to the fairway. Should have a somewhat attackable approach from there.
Yeah, and so these guys are missing those shots right there, but they still are going to have manageable shots into the green for par.
That's just gonna be, that's a tricky birdie save for Chris. Now he's just going to have to give up and down for his 5.
Right, and that's you want to know where the best players in the world really separate themselves. It's right here. You get them inside 250 feet, and they are going to find a way to get up and down for the most part.
That was a great shot. Very tight. I thought he was looking like he was going to catch the edge of that brush. Mr. Elmore.
Very good. See what I mean?
Really
like,
beautiful shot.
You get these guys, even when they're pinched, inside 250 feet, that's where we're making our money.
The creativity and the touch is what really separates those 10-20 rated players from the 990 and 1,000 rated players.
because they all threw not their best shots, but they're all kind of right around that 250-foot mark, and they're all finding ways to get putts.
And Eagle's got a circle's edge putt for his birdie, not as close as Sias or Chris.
This needs to turn perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Just perfectly.
Yeah, and look at this. Oh, wow. Almost catching metal. Seppo just drawing it up perfectly.
Done saying he has good touch.
Yeah, it's just
a given.
Yep.
And we know you're going to make it. Oh, what?
Oh, not only has he not made it, his par putt will be from around the same distance, but with a tailwind this time.
He almost hit a spectator.
Yeah, that's if you hit a spectator with a putt, wow, big par save from Eagle. That could have been disastrous on a hole you really feel like you have to pick up a birdie.
I was like, just wait till I win. Just wait.
Yeah, it's the 15th or the fourth easiest hole, averaging 4.7, so 0.3 below par. That's one of those holes you're really hoping to pick up that 4 on.
Right. Honestly, when I'm sitting on the tee, I'm thinking eagle.
Yeah.
Because
Same.
Land in the fairway, we can do things from there.
Hole 13. Well, casual players will know this is hole 1 of the course, but this is our hole 13. Par 4, 555 feet, and some days you play this in a headwind, sometimes you play in a tailwind. Today we are going into a strong headwind, as we will be for the next 4 holes. There's a Mando left, keeping players away from going the hyzer down the street. Seppo has kicked an early branch. He is short of the Mando tree, but he is a long way from the pin.
I think he actually made the Mando, and it went around to the right side, yeah.
Okay. All right, it's not what I saw.
Ooh. I don't know about that one. I didn't catch the angle.
Chris electing to go with a wide, super wide shot, and the early tree hit.
Still manageable from there, though.
That's a long distance from the pin. He'll probably have just inside 400 feet, but like you said, it's manageable, but with this headwind, it's going to play so much further. And look, no one really off the tee really well in this hole. So many trees across the fairway. There's like 5 or 6 different options of things you can throw off the tee, but with this headwind, it makes it so tricky. And you can see Eagle just turning that into the ground.
Yeah, it's interesting playing this in such a strong headwind because practice we had straight tailwind. And so I found that the toughest part about the whole hole was the shot coming in, not knowing exactly how you wanted to throw it because it was so easy to get the distance before. And now it's playing a good 100 feet, honestly, further.
Yeah.
Just from the upshot. Like even that, he was probably thinking from the day before, like, this is a good shot, and then he came up extremely short.
Yeah, no, in practice, we played together the day before the tournament, and we had a tailwind, and we were just throwing rollers into the circle, And if you threw a roller on in these conditions, it would go about 70 feet out of bounds.
Right, so, out of Chris's hand, it came out with a lot of speed, good touch, nice angle.
40 feet short.
Yep. A2.
Man, put the man's name on that disc. He has thrown it so incredibly well. Does Eagle have a driver?
I think it's just a mid-range.
Okay. It looked like a wide rim. Eagle's smartly playing the top flight plate against the wind to push the disc down. Oh, wow. Was not expecting a 50-foot putt in this wind, but man, Sias delivers the big birdie putt on hole 13.
And that was perfect, right on the stripe, a couple inches over the rim. And that'll show you how difficult his putt was, as Clemons had a hard time getting the distance, period.
Right.
The feeling of a good disc is that it's not too stiff, it's not too soft, it has a good grip. Just the overall feel of the disc is something I really look for.
Hole 14, 303-foot par 3. Really not much in the way except for that one tree on the left with the branches hanging down pretty low, and then that one tree in the middle. There's out of bounds to the right. If a player throws with too much hyzer with the sidearm, they will go out of bounds. And there is the walking path on the left as well. But for the most part, players are certainly feeling like this is a hole you must get up there and at least have a look for birdie.
This angle's great if it can just miss those branches.
That being said, this headwind, nothing's a given. This is so much more difficult than it in calm conditions. Even with the tailwind, this is not that hard of a hole. But with the headwind, it does play quite tricky.
And even Seppo's super disc had a hard time.
Yeah. He hasn't hit a tree all around with that thing, and he hits a tree. That just shows you right there.
Yeah. And he just needs to get around that, and he's still going to be short, honestly.
Sit down. No.
Wow.
See, that's
very unexpected because it looked pretty flat going through the fairway. Everything looked good, and then all of a sudden, OB.
Eagle trying to put a little Anheuser, very
This needs to
overstable
sit
disc.
as well.
Yeah, catch some thick grass, he'll have a look. It's a tough putt for most, but like we said, Eagle has that great headwind putt. I'm sure he'll be running it.
Just a soft layup from Seppo.
This is a long par attempt from Chris, just laying that one up. Smart play. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he was trying to do. It looks like he didn't really give it much of an effort. I think that was just conceding the bogey.
Yeah, which we've honestly seen him do a few times this round, kind of laying up some putts from just outside the circle in those windy conditions.
And Eagle having a little difficulty with the wind, giving it a little bit of a run, but just I think respecting the fact that you do not want a long comeback putt. Surprising statistic. This hole averaged over par. I mean, that's not something that you would have ever thought. I feel like it's just hole 14 should average 2.7, averaged 3.03, so that's something to keep in mind for round 2. Hole 15 decided the last 2 playoffs in this course. Hole par 4, 558 feet. It's a tricky one into a headwind. I mean, this is a hole that can be reached quite easily, I feel like, with these players with a tailwind, but we're going into that stiff headwind here, and we have the out-of-bounds fence on the right. Players need to make sure they throw an overstable disc.
Yeah, no conditions.
Oh, this
is one of the easiest holes that we'll play on tour.
Oh, and Sias is over the fence, out of bounds.
In this headwind, the fairway shrinks significantly.
It's like, what do you do? Seppo's out of bounds as well. If you throw Heiser, you could go on the street on the left. If you throw Anheuser, you could go over the fence on the right.
I think this is the best play.
This is the preferred play if you have it. If you have the 350-foot to 400-foot sidearm, you can just play a sharp edge with a lot of Heiser over the street. You're going to come back in bounds.
Or if you have a left hand.
And the only thing that was scary about that shot was that light pole, but Chris has navigated past it and is in the perfect spot. Seppo with the Seppo Paju A2, I'm going to call it from now on. Just perfect. Just throwing, perfect shots with that disc.
And we've seen Sias go to this shot a bunch this round, and he's actually very good at it.
Needs to sit down. The wind kind of helps it on that skip. Pushed it up and elevated instead of shooting it out to the left. Fortunate break, he'll have a putt for par from inside the circle. Eagle trying to go with a really highly overstable disc, so it just knifes. Oh, that is leaving a lot of meat on the potato.
Is that a real saying?
I don't think it is, but I just say it a lot, I feel like.
You say that a lot?
I sometimes do, yeah. I don't know what it means, but so.
All right, let's see if he can scrape that meat off that potato.
Yeah, if the potato had a kneecap, he would have just busted it up as Eagle's putt comes up short. And Sias, look at that. Hardly any chains, but is able to walk off hole 15 with a par. It's a sigh of relief from Sias. A Sias relief.
Seppo with a nice putt. I mean,
Very
even
nice.
even from that distance
Very
with
good
that
par.
raging headwind, it's super scary.
And a great birdie there.
It's
From
Seppo
Chris.
scary.
Second hardest hole in the course, 4.35 average. Again, a hole that plays super easy in calm conditions. It's just showing you how hard these are. It's crazy. Moving on to hole 16, down to the final 3 holes of the first round. 585-foot par 4 with the walkway over here on the right out of bounds. The road on the left is out of bounds, but players shouldn't really be over there in that area. And those horseshoe pits back there are also out of bounds, going to an elevated basket. Last hole, we're playing into a headwind. And Chris is just ripping over something stable. Give him that nice angle out there in the wide, grassy plains. Should have nothing in the way. Probably 200 feet left.
Oh, boy.
Goodness. Oh. That is not... Oh, man.
Ideal.
He is a long way away. He is out of bounds right off the tee. Sias has brought bogey into picture here. Seppo as well. Man, you can just see the wind just toying with these guys.
And that's a, if you have the power, really, that is scary having that out of bounds just past the fence line there. You can see where the sidewalk is, and really, Eagle throws a great shot here, but if that turns over like Seppo does, he has the distance to get to that right side. And I saw a few people go OB even over there.
And anything past that tree that Eagle just went under.
Like the shot that Sias is throwing, he has to go over that out of bounds. If he kicks off this tree or anything, like it'll be pretty close.
If you don't have a forehand, and Sias, I don't think I've ever seen him throw a forehand. That is just almost an impossible up and down approach.
I've seen him throw a thumber, though.
Yeah, he had the ace at Utah last year. That's right.
Saw him on ESPN throw a thumber.
That's right. And Seppo comes up quite a bit short. Not really what he was looking for. Chris needs to sit down. That is leaving a lot of distance between him and the birdie.
I wouldn't suggest thumber, though, in these conditions.
No.
Good touch.
I don't know if he's outside circle two or not, but this is a long way away.
One thing I really like about Sias's game, is he runs everything.
He's an aggressive
I've
player.
noticed that this round.
Seppo.
I also noticed that about his gang. They run everything around here,
His
too.
gang? His gang runs everything. Jeez. Just stop. Chris off the cage. They'll have to settle for a par. Eagle, slight headwind, not blowing too hard right now, able to pick up the nice birdie.
It's like those are automatic for him. And let me tell you, people, those are not automatic for anybody but him and him alone.
Yeah, I think the scariest putt in disc golf is an elevated basket headwind putt. It just seems so many times you hit that pole and it just comes right back at you.
Yeah, the
There's nothing else
scariest
you can
putt in disc golf is where Eagle has landed on every hole. It seems like
Yeah, right.
he just makes them.
A bogey from Sias.
And you can see this back nine has a lot of gray on it.
Yeah, it's tricky. Speaking of tricky, these last 2 holes out here are some of the most challenging and beautiful finishing holes that you're going to see in the sport. Hole 17, par 4, 610 foot. Incredibly challenging because the play is going to be that forehand low or the backhand anhyzer. Tricky part is we have a really strong tailwind now. So the backhand anhyzer is kind of tough to get it to where you want it to be. Eagle's super duper safe.
Is it?
Maybe, yes, just
Whoa.
barely in bounds. The problem is he is a long way away from the pin, and he's going to have that right to left wind going into the water, over the water, I should say.
Yeah, he didn't have to take it that wide.
Yep, I think he is just trying to go high and just avoid it. The low ceiling shot gets you way up the fairway, but it can be challenging because you hit the backside of this hill. The disc can roll down into the water, can roll down into the street. There's a lot of places where you can go out of bounds if you crest that hill. This is looking nice from Seppo.
Very nice.
And that nice little roll there is going to get him into a really ideal position.
You think he goes straight putter there?
I think he might, because that low ceiling sidearm is slightly blocked off with the trees. And size, oh my goodness.
Oh no.
There is out of bounds on the right side. I think he has stayed safe.
I don't think it rolled that far.
And Eagle's going probably the most overstable disc in his bag to combat that wind. Chris has sawed off the approach. He is going to be inbounds, but having to lay up from there to take his par. Oh no. That's the mistake you cannot make.
Yep, that one's going fishing, as we like to say on the tour out here.
Yeah, that with that low ceiling, Seppo was unable to get the disc high enough to really fight that wind. And look at this. Is that a grenade?
Oh, isn't that what he threw in Utah?
I don't remember.
He has so many shots, it's hard to keep track.
Just
That was
doesn't feel it
great,
for
though.
him. And Seppo, that needs to get down. That needs to get down. Okay, he is safe.
And we were worried about Seppo's tee shot. Like you said, he would have to keep a sidearm very low, and with the conditions, low sidearm, it's really hard to get that thing to go to the right. That would have been an incredible save.
Oh my gosh. That was for birdie from Sias, just running everything. Eagle.
Even Eagle takes a higher bid than Sias did there. Oh, what a great look of Seppo right here, though.
Oh no, that is going to be a double bogey. Not a meltdown, but certainly not the finish Seppo was looking for. Everybody's kind of having their struggles. The good thing about this green, unfortunately the players aren't reaping the benefits of it, is that the wind is blocked off strongly by these trees around the green. But really no one able to capitalize on that. Bogey for Chris, par for Sias, par for Eagle.
Really a great par for Sias.
Yeah, almost an incredible birdie. Wow. Hole 18, 492 foot, par 4, very attackable though. If you have the distance, it's almost just a hyzer. It's going to be a hyzer for these guys with this strong tailwind. Into a headwind, it's almost undrivable. But that's not the conditions we have to deal with here on the final round. Mulch green, so discs that are coming in fast are going to slow down really nice there. Let's see what Eagle's got.
I expect Eagle to go almost spike hyzer, yeah.
Wow.
Look at this. This is just not a real, that's not a real shot.
Yeah. And wow, a lot of action there on the greenest, even with that mulch green.
Spike hyzer 400 or about 500 feet. That's just nuts. I mean, you can see the difficulty with Sias deciding to lay up left with a similar line.
Sias, even though he's aggressive, we have Chris Clemons going for the basket, 492 feet with a forehand. This guy's an animal.
Oh my! And he did it.
Look
I
at
mean,
this.
this is a perfect flight.
Oh, no ground play. That hits on hard dirt, and that's inside the circle. Wow.
Parked.
It is a slight elevation drop, which makes that 492 feet not play as far.
And Seppo's going with a high. This is a X1, everybody. So this is the most stable disc in the Prodigy lineup. And he gets it to clear. You know, that's all of 450 feet.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. 45 feet left to the pin or so.
He doesn't like it out of his hand.
Super wide.
Good dig, though.
Yeah, it's inside the circle for his birdie attempt.
This needs to sit.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
Just inside the circle for Seppo. Here's an eagle look for Chris. Come on. Oh.
Sit. You can see maybe bad footing or something in that mud.
Yeah, the mud is pretty sticky.
That needs to, and that's just almost an impossible putt from down there. It's almost an impossible putt from down there. I mean, with that stiff wind coming uphill, with Seppo's style of putt, like the nose is just going to be exposed.
And Sias able to convert on his birdie. Good finish. Really battle round. 3 bogeys for Sias, but 9 birdies coming in at 6 under par. This is a par putt here for Seppo. And he's in after the double bogey par finish. Not what he was looking for. 6 under round as well for Seppo. That is going to be a birdie for Eagle, bringing him to 10 down for the round.
Clean back 9.
A clean card overall. No bogeys.
Wow. Very impressive.
And Chris Clemons with that. Look at that back 9. Eagle, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie. And he as well is at 8 under. As we see the scores here for our feature group through round 1. And through the first round, we got that fire start. Course record tying 15 under for yours truly. One of my better rounds ever played. Really fun round to play with some great guys. Ricky Wysocki at 14 under. Nate Perkins at 13 and 2 players at 12. Matt Dollar and Paul Ulibarri. Thank you so much for joining us for the first round coverage from the 2019 Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Dynamic Discs. Catch you guys tomorrow for round 2.